Most people assume productivity problems are caused by lack of time. If they could somehow create more space in their schedule, get through their inbox faster, or become more efficient, they believe they would finally make meaningful progress on the work that matters most. In reality, one of the biggest productivity challenges facing professionals today has very little to do with the amount of time available. It has much more to do with what happens to attention throughout the day. Modern work encourages constant switching. People move from emails to meetings, from meetings to messages, from messages to projects, and projects back again to email. Because this pattern has become the normal, it rarely gets questioned. Many professionals simply assume that productivity means staying responsive and keeping multiple conversations, tasks, and responsibilities moving at the same time. The problem is that attention does not perform particularly well under those conditions. While the effects may not be immediately visible, the long-term impact on focused decision-making and productivity can be substantial. Over time, constant switching erodes the very concentration required to produce high-quality work. Context switching is difficult to recognize because it creates the appearance of productivity. Throughout the day, people are answering questions, responding to requests, attending meetings, and reacting to whatever happens to require attention next. From the outside, it looks like a productive day. More importantly, it feels productive as well. There is a natural sense of momentum that comes from being busy. Every completed email, every response, every small task creates the impression of progress being made. The challenge is that activity and progress are not the same thing. A person can remain active for the day while making very little meaningful progress on work that requires deeper concentration. What often goes unnoticed is how frequently attention is being interrupted in the process. Every shift requires the brain to stop thinking about one thing and start thinking about something else. While each transition may seem insignificant in isolation, the cumulative effect across an entire day can be considerable. As interruptions multiply, attention becomes increasingly fragmented, and sustained focus becomes more difficult to maintain. The cost most people never see. When people think about interruptions, they usually focus on the interruption itself. They notice the message, the phone call, the unexpected request, or the colleague who needs a quick answer. What they rarely notice is what happens afterward. Meaningful work generally requires a period of immersion. Whether someone is solving a complex problem, developing a strategy, writing a proposal, or making an important decision, there is usually a process of gradually becoming more engaged with the task. Ideas become clearer, connections begin forming, and thinking becomes more focused as attention settles in the work. When that process is interrupted, attention does not immediately return to the same place. The brain must connect with the task, remember where they left off, and rebuild the concentration that existed before the interruption occurred. That recovery process consumes energy, and even when people are not consciously aware of it, over the course of the day, those small recovery periods can consume far more attention than the interruptions themselves. This is one of the reasons why so many professionals finish the day feeling mentally exhausted, despite struggling to identify what actually they accomplished. Their effort was real, their attention was active, but too much of that attention was spent repeatedly restarting rather than building momentum. Deep work requires uninterrupted attention. It requires remaining engaged with a challenge long enough to move beyond the surface level thinking and into deeper analysis, creativity, and problem solving. Unfortunately, many modern work environments make that increasingly difficult. Organizations often reward responsiveness more than focus. Employees are praised for answering quickly, remaining available, and responding immediately whenever a request appears. While those behaviors can be valuable in certain situations, they can also create a culture where responsiveness becomes more important than concentration. Over time, people begin measuring productivity by how quickly they react rather than by the quality of the work they produce. The result that deep thinking becomes increasingly rare, even though it is often responsible for the most valuable contribution people make. Strategic decisions, innovative solutions, and meaningful breakthroughs rarely emerge from fragmented attention. They emerge from sustained focus. Improving productivity does not always require a better system or a more sophisticated process. In many cases, it begins with protecting attention more deliberately. That may involve creating uninterrupted periods for focused work, reducing unnecessary notifications, or establishing clearer expectations around communication. Specific tactics matter less than the principle behind them. The goal is to create conditions where attention can remain focused long enough for meaningful progress to occur. This is not about becoming unavailable or ignoring people. It's about recognizing that attention is a finite resource. Every demand placed upon it carries a cost, and every interruption creates a decision about whether that cost is justified. Professionals who consistently produce high-quality work are often those who have learned to protect the conditions that allow focused thinking to happen. Many people believe that they have time management problems, when the real challenge is attention management. The issue is not always the number of responsibilities they carry. More often, it is the number of times those responsibilities force attention to start over throughout the day. Because productivity is not simply about how much work gets done, it's about how much work, uninterrupted work, is available to do that work well. In a world that constantly competes for attention, protecting focus has become one of the most valuable professional skills a person can develop. Comment below what interrupts your focus, often during the workday. Don't forget to hit the like button, the bell for notifications, and subscribe to TIDAL Coach so you can join the community that's redefining what modern leadership looks like. See you in the next video.